Thank you. Okay, people, excellent. Oh, wait. Okay. Morning, everybody. Today is the 14th of June, and we are here with class number 3 from the 12th grade B, my beautiful class. And today, the topic is social etiquette. Social etiquette, the things that we are allowed to do, the things that society makes us do, the things that the government let us do. Okay, so the focus is let, make, and allowed. Is about the rules. All right. But firstly, we're gonna have a look at some listening, which is about this magnificent country. What country are we talking about? From the pictures that we see here. What country is it? The one that we're gonna be listening about?
Japón,
English.
Japan,
Yes,
Ja-
Japan. Yeah,
Japan.
Japan. Yeah, it's Japan. Can anyone send the code to Anais? Because she's telling me, teacher, I can't enter. Dice, profe, no me acepta el código. ¿Cómo le mando el link? Ah, pero, okay, wait. Think fast, Damian. Think fast. Think fast. I can't even. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. Have open? No, I don't have WhatsApp web opened. Mm. WhatsApp web. Okay, wait a second. I'm sending the things to Anais. Anais, aquí está. Ahí está. Okay, ready. Let me go back. I'm sorry to stop the class. Anais Reyes, ahí está la mismísima. Anais Reyes. There are some people. Juaco, I think. Anais Reyes. Tian Reyes, Anais Reyes. Okay, Juaco, no, Juaco, yes, Juaco. Okay, Anais Reyes, we're supposed to be 29.
Hola, profe, buenos días.
Hola, profe. ¿Tota?
Hola, profe.
Hello? ¿Tota? Ay, ¿por qué los tengo pineados? Espérame. Ay, sí. Ahora sí. Tota, ahí está la Tota. Tota, Juaco. Joaquín. 27. Ah, yeah, it's correct. 27. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so Yanela said Japan. Okay, before the interruption, we were checking on the country. Sorry, Japan. Okay, give me please the correct vocabulary words here. We have lots of people crowded here. Where are they? We have a crowd. That's a lot of people. Where are they?
Underground.
They are on the underground. Yes, they are on the underground. What about this one? We have two words here connected.
Sushi.
Sushi. And what else?
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks. Okay, the chopsticks are the things that you use to eat sushi. Sushi and other things, rice and other Japanese food. And what about this one? First of all,
Kimono.
they're wearing kimono, and what are they doing?
Bowing.
And what's the meaning of bowing? It's a sign of respect in Japan. So what's that?
Reverencia.
Yes, perfect. Reverencia. Bowing. Sometimes you have to bow in front of your superiors. In Japan, we're gonna see how that works. So what we have here, words that we're gonna find in the listening. These are about Japanese etiquette. Okay, and when we talk about etiquette, we're referring to society rules, okay? Rules that are not written in a paper, but, well, maybe some of them, but that people consider them like a true, like consider them as a truth, okay? We're gonna listen more about this one. So we're gonna listen now, and then you're gonna tell me which ones do they mention in the listening text.
And 2 months in Australia too. So, yes, I've been really lucky. I've seen a lot of different countries around the world in the last 2 or 3 years.
Which one did you like most?
Oh, that's kind of hard to answer. But I certainly loved being in Japan.
Really? But aren't the people there very cold and unfriendly?
Well, it's strange, because a lot of people in Europe seem to think that, but it's just a kind of negative stereotype, really. I didn't find it was true at all. Maybe I was just lucky, but I met a lot of Japanese people who were very funny, really warm and kind. I mean, they're very, very polite. That's really important in their culture. And so people bow a lot and things, but it's really nice. I like people who are polite, so I got used to it very easily.
But life's really different there, isn't it?
Yes and no. I mean, sure, some things are different. Like, things happen on time. That was strange for me. It was hard to get used to that. If the bus is supposed to arrive at 10:30, well, it arrives at 10:30. We aren't used to buses arriving on time here, are we?
What about the food and things there? Isn't it very different?
Sure, they eat some things that are strange for us, but, don't believe everything you hear. Japanese people don't spend their lives eating only sushi and whale meat, I loved the food. When I went there, though, I wasn't very good with chopsticks. I'm used to eating with a knife and fork at home. So when people saw me trying to use chopsticks, sometimes they laughed, but in such a nice way that I laughed too. And Japanese people helped me a lot and showed me how to do it, so that was cool. I'm pretty good with chopsticks now.
So, people were nice then?
Oh, sure. I mean, in every country I've been to, people are different, but in the end, people are people. And some of them are nice, and some of them aren't so nice. Some people are polite, some are rude. You just have to go to a country with an open mind. One thing I've learned, I think, is that sometimes we get an idea about a country or a group of people, and then we start to think that everyone in that country is like that. And really, it's a stereotype. It isn't true. If you really get to know people, you'll find that...
Alrighty, what things were mentioned in the listening text?
Sushi
Sushi, what else? Yes, I agree.
is chopsticks.
The chopsticks, anything else? Anything else? The underground, the kimono, bowing. Bowing, kimono, anything? No, yes, anything else? Okay, let's check. Yeah, both of them, that's really good. Dun, dun, dun. I wonder if I put another one. Ah, okay. Ah, yes, I knew it was this one too. They say they bow. Bow. They bow, bowing, bow. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna listen to again. I guess it's true or false. I damn it. This one it is. Okay, true or false. Let's go.
And 2 months in Australia too. So, yes, I've been really lucky. I've seen a lot of different countries around the world in the last 2 or 3 years.
Which one did you like most?
Oh, that's kind of hard to answer. But I certainly loved being in Japan.
Really? But aren't the people there very cold and unfriendly?
Well, it's strange, you know, because a lot of people in Europe seem to think that, but it's just a kind of negative stereotype, really. I didn't find it was true at all. Maybe I was just lucky, but I met a lot of Japanese people who were very funny, really warm and kind. I mean, they're very, very polite. That's really important in their culture. And so people bow a lot and things, but it's really nice. I like people who are polite, so I got used to it very easily.
But life's really different there, isn't it?
Yes and no. I mean, sure, some things are different. Like, things happen on time. That was strange for me. It was hard to get used to that. You know, if the bus is supposed to arrive at 10:30, well, it arrives at 10:30. We aren't used to buses arriving on time here, are we?
What about the food and things there? Isn't it very different?
Sure, they eat some things that are strange for us, but, you know, don't believe everything you hear. Japanese people don't spend their lives eating only sushi and whale meat, you know. I loved the food. When I went there, though, I wasn't very good with chopsticks. You know, I'm used to eating with a knife and fork at home. So when people saw me trying to use chopsticks, sometimes they laughed, but in such a nice way that I laughed too. And Japanese people helped me a lot and showed me how to do it, so that was cool. I'm pretty good with chopsticks now.
So people were nice then?
Oh, sure. I mean, in every country I've been to, you know, people are different, but in the end, people are people. And some of them are nice, and some of them aren't so nice. Some people are polite, some are rude. You just have to go to a country with an open mind. One thing I've learned, I think, is that sometimes we get an idea about a country or a group of people, and then we start to think that everyone in that country is like that. And really, it's a stereotype. It isn't true. If you really get to know people, you'll find that...
Okie dokie. So, the first one says that many European people think that Japanese are unfriendly.
True.
Uh-huh. Yes, I think that's not the reality. Japanese people are too polite.
True.
She says that they are very polite. I don't know, they're too polite maybe. Remember that we use too is a bit, it's not negative, but it's not very positive. That you are too friendly, you're too polite. It might be uncomfortable. Buses in England usually arrive on time.
False.
Okay, and she usually eats with a knife and fork at home. With a knife and fork.
True.
Sorry, false?
True. True.
She still doesn't know how to use the chopsticks.
False.
Okay, you need an open mind when you go abroad. Abroad, another country. You need an open mind. True, false?
True.
Yeah, and everyone in a country is the same.
False.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Okay, so people are too polite. That's false. Okay, that's false because people are not too polite. People are very polite. Remember, too is something that is a bit uncomfortable. If a person is too kind or if a person is too funny, it doesn't have a positive connotation. Very funny and very kind, yes, perfect. But too usually it's not comfortable. Okay, so it's true, false, false. True, false, true, false. Alrighty. Okie dokie. So what I want to do is the following thing. What time do we finish this class? 9:20, 10:20? People? Okay, I'm gonna check it.
A las 10:35.
Ah, okay, so we have time. That's good, that's good. Excellent. 10:35. Okay, yeah, I get it. We have 15 minutes. That's good. Okay, let's go. Okay, so what we have here are some ideas about Japanese people, okay, things that they do, and we are going to contrast with Chile. So to do that, I'm going to quickly show you some stuff from this video. We're going to have a look at it of things that you don't have to do. I mean, not that you mustn't do in Japan. Okay, things that you shouldn't do in Japan. Let's have a go, and then we're going to contrast with Chile.
So walking down the street whilst eating and drinking isn't illegal. You're not going to get shouted at and you're not going to get arrested by Ace Detective Sherlock Bones. But what you will get is the stare of disapproval. A lot of people don't know this one until you get here and never see anyone doing it. What you'll find is if someone wants to eat or drink something quickly outside, they'll buy at the convenience store and then eat it or drink it out the front. Same with vending machines. If they buy something from the vending machine, they'll drink it there and then next to the vending machine. The main reason is people are very conscious about keeping the streets clean here, and you don't want to ruin someone else's day by having them walk through your spilt coffee. That said, all you need to do to avoid the stare of disapproval is just stop and eat and drink whatever it is there and then. Maybe it's on a bench, maybe you're just standing at the side of the road, whatever. Just don't walk whilst eating and drinking and you'll be alright.
Okay, what about Chile? Are you allowed to eat in the streets? Is it okay?
Sí.
Yeah, like walking and eating, no problem. Okay, so you're allowed. Next one.
3 things to point out here. Number 1, never put your chopsticks upright into the rice, as this is part of a ritual conducted at funerals when offering rice to the spirits of the deceased. Similarly, number 2, never pass things from chopstick to chopstick, because again, this is done during funerals to pass the bones of cremated relatives, so that kind of imagery doesn't go down well over dinner, as you'd expect. Probably best not to conjure up imagery surrounding death before you've even had your lunch. Oh, and thirdly, don't do the rubbing of the chopsticks. You know when you open wooden chopsticks, you like to do that to get rid of the splinters, and just because it's fun. Everyone loves doing that, right? But don't do it in Japan because it's seen as rude to the owner, because you're basically saying, oh, your chopsticks are probably cheap, which, let's face it, they probably are. But in fact, they usually definitely are.
Okay, what about in Chile? If you are on a table, can you pass food with your forks and knife? Can you give food to other people or take food from the other people? Now, if you said, for example, hey, can you give me some chips? Oh, yeah. Can you do that in Chile?
Ah, sí, sí se puede.
Yeah, is it rude?
No,
No, it's
no creo
not.
que no.
It's not rude. It's sharing. And do you know any etiquette about the table in Chile? Any etiquette about the table? Maybe the utensils? Anything? Do you know any about etiquette with the knife and the fork? Something about when you are on the table, people, that you can think of? Nothing? Okay.
No, no sé.
I remember there was something about the positions of the things, okay? Or that there's a whole etiquette on table that I'm gonna give you something for you to research. Okay, next one. Let's go.
Profe,
Poner los servicios en vertical cuando terminas de comer. ¿Cómo es? A ver.
profe,
Yes, Marty?
no era lo que no tenían que ponerlo como parados porque significaba que estaban como velando a un muerto. o algo
Ah,
así?
yeah, in Japan, yes, but I was asking about Chile. Do we have something about that? Yeah, in Japan, I agree. That you can't do that.
Ah, no sé, profe.
Yeah, you can't pass. You can't.
O sea, a mí cuando chica me enseñaron que no pusiera los servicios cruzados cuando terminé de comer porque eso significaba que la comida había estado mala.
Que estaba mala. Sí, hay una forma, hay unos ahí les voy a darle el tema para que busquen. Cuando los pone de cierta forma, representan ciertos mensajes. Yeah? And what Gabriela says is true. Mhm. Okay, what about this one?
Probably the greatest thing about Japan ever, and the reason that I eat out several times a week, just because I save 20% automatically. In Japan, it's believed that customer service should always be exceptional.
Where are the subtitles? God damn it. Ah, yeah, don't put the elbows on the table. Yeah, that's good, easy. I remember my mom. Don't put the elbows on the table. Don't put your elbows on the table. But it's so comfortable to be like this, you know, eating. Okay, let's see.
With staff giving 120% every time. 120%, 110%, 120% would be ridiculous. But it's not necessarily rude to tip someone, it just creates this awkward situation where the worker, the staff would feel like you're assessing their performance and they could potentially lose face. So you might think you're being nice by giving someone a tip, but you're not. You're just creating an uncomfortable situation for the worker and they'll probably just reject your tip outright. So don't be tempted to do it.
Okay, what about in Chile? What about tipping in Chile? Tipping.
¿Es común dar propina?
Yeah, and if you don't tip in Chile,
Es como un poco mal visto no dar propina, como que te ponen mala cara
yeah,
si no,
yeah.
no les das propina.
Yeah, it's a bit forced sometimes, and in some restaurant they include the tip already, the 10%. But it's optional, right? So in Japan, if you give tip to someone, it's that they may lose face. Lose face. I like that expression. To lose face. So if you lose face in front of your co-workers, okay, your workmates, it means that they show a bit of disrespect. O sea, que hay como pavo, okay, to lose face. Quedas como avergonzado, to lose face for your work. It's totally the opposite. Okay, let's go.
There's a real emphasis on being mindful when you're using public transport in Japan that's often completely absent in many countries. Numerous of the times that I've been riding a train in the UK and someone nearby has been screaming at their partner down the phone and I felt like I was part of the argument, like some kind of unpleasant 4D experience. But given Japan's density, it's especially important to be mindful when you're stuffed in a train alongside fellow commuters, many of whom are sleeping as well. With that in mind, don't ever talk on your phone on the train. That's a massive, no thing to do here. And even talking loudly is looked down upon. If you're on a local train or a subway train and you get a phone call, just ignore it until you get off. And if you're on a bullet train, you can go to the little compartment in between the carriages and take your call there. I remember for the first few years that I lived here, whenever someone handed me a business card, I was utterly terrified because until then, business cards to me had always just been a bit of paper or a bit of...
Yeah, business things, Chile, I don't know. But what about the phone? What about the phone? What about talking in public transport? What's going on in Chile?
Sí, sí lo hacen.
Yeah, you can, yeah. And for example, when you are on a bus or when you are or in the underground in Santiago, whatever, can you speak loud, like laugh and like make noise? Is it okay?
Sí.
Yeah, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Although it's a bit annoying, but it's perfectly fine. Well, in Japan, it's not nice. Okay, it's not nice. I'm gonna skip this one about the business cards because that is, I don't know, for adults. And I don't think it's quite relevant. Okay. Okay, this one. What's going on video? Okay, there we go.
If you've got a runny nose, standard procedure here is just to keep sniffing, or just to find a toilet or a broom cupboard to hide in. Blowing noses in public is pretty rude. Interestingly though, handkerchiefs are pretty popular here. Not in the way you would think though. People use them to wipe sweat off in the hot summer weather, or even more commonly to dry their hands in public toilets. Because surprisingly, many public toilets in Japan don't have any hand drying facilities, despite having space-age toilets that reside in the same room. It's quite a weird contrast that I don't quite understand. Physical contact in Japan isn't really a thing. You'll bow a lot, you'll nod enthusiastically daily, but occasionally you might shake hands with someone if they're a good friend or a business client that you get on well with, but generally I avoid it unless someone makes the first move. And hugging in particular doesn't go down well. It's just met with expressions of awkwardness and despair. And also amongst
Okay, what about the sniffing and blowing your nose in Chile? Is that okay?
En Chile está bien, o sea, da lo mismo.
That's why people get sick, right? Right. I think in Japan is a bit more complicated because of there are too many people, right? There are too many people. Okay, and I wanted to have this one.
Physical contact in Japan isn't really a thing. You'll bow a lot, you'll nod enthusiastically daily, but occasionally you might shake hands with someone if they're a good friend or a business client that you get on well with, but generally I avoid it unless someone makes the first move. And hugging in particular doesn't go down well. It's just met with expressions of awkwardness and despair. And also amongst couples, public displays of affection are phenomenally rare here, so don't be surprised if you get the stare of disapproval if you're kissing your partner frantically in the street. And I think that it should definitely be this. If you're the sort of person who feels the need.
Okay, what about physical contact? Tell me.
Sí, sí lo hacemos.
In what sense?
Cuando saludamos a la gente.
Okay, so we hug, we shake hands, we kiss on the cheek, for example. But in Japan, it's just you just bow, and if you know the person, you shake hand. That's it. That's it. But what do you prefer? What do you prefer? The Japanese thing or? Sorry.
Yo creo que ahora preferiría lo de las manos porque en general acá en Chile como que hasta un extraño, por ejemplo, alguien te presenta a alguien y como que te ves como un poco obligado a darle un abrazo, un beso en la mejilla, haciendo que quizás no debería ser tan así.
Sí, sí, extraño como, hola, ¿quién soy tú? Jamás te he visto. Y es muy cerca, igual, pero si está enfermo. Yeah, I agree. I'd rather say, hola. That's it. No need.
I couldn't be bothered to film that one. Everyone seems to know this one already anyway. When visiting someone's house or entering a public building like a school or going to a hot spring, you take off your shoes and switch to slippers before you go in. The easiest way of knowing if you have to change your shoes is there'll be a change in elevation in the floor. So when you go in, there'll be a little stair, and that's when you know. This is the one thing on the list where failing to stick to the rules will have noticeable results. A few years ago, a friend and I visited a public bathhouse in Kyoto, and we went in, and you're supposed to take your shoes off. For some reason he didn't. I don't know why. I don't think he noticed or saw. There was a little old woman sitting behind the entrance counter where you kind of pay, and when we walked in, she saw that.
Okay, well, what about in Chile, and or your houses? Do you have to remove your shoes?
En mi casa sí.
Yeah, in my house too. I prefer that. Okay, so people, you guys are gonna have your another class. Okay, so what we're gonna do is very simple. I'm gonna leave this video on Google Classroom for you to finish it, and I'm gonna give you 1 week. I'm gonna give you a 1 week or more. And what you're gonna do are you're gonna compare Chile and you're gonna compare Japan in these aspects, and you're gonna add more aspects about etiquette, but we're going to wait until Gala, no me muerde el cuaderno. We're gonna wait until Wednesday, because on Wednesday I'm gonna give you the structure I need. Okay? So that's what
Ya,
we're gonna
profe.
do. Okay. Oof. My God, I hate these short classes. Have a nice day. Please enjoy your Monday, and I'll see you in the afternoon.
Chao, teacher.
Chao,
Bye.
cuídese.
Happy hugs. You too.
Chao, teacher.
Teacher, cuídese.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Gala, stop eating, please. Gala. What you doing?